All right, so I heard this sample earlier when I was just listening to music on YouTube. So I downloaded it and brought it into FL Studio, and I'm gonna make a beat with it. I'm actually not gonna make the beat in FL Studio. I'm gonna make it in Ableton, but I'm gonna use FL Studio so I can use a stem separator for my sample. For all my samples, I always want to turn the trim knob all the way up. So the sample is around like 120 BPM. It's a little off though. Let me drag this part in a bit. So the tempo is just 120 BPM, but the beat's not perfectly on the grid, so I'm just gonna have to time correct that later. Basically just a full instrumental with like drums, a melody, and a bass. So that's why I'm in FL Studio, so I can use the stem extractor here. I'm just gonna go to my sample and then go to this top left corner and click here. And then I'm gonna click on extract stems from sample. And in this menu over here, I'm gonna make sure that all these options are selected because I want all the individual stems on their own tracks. And then you just gotta wait, let it do its thing. It takes a couple moments. And now we have everything separated onto its own track here in FL Studio. Hear the bass. Yeah, low key, I'm gonna probably sample that. But this is mostly what I wanted, this melody here. That's so hard. So I'm gonna actually extract each one of these stems out of FL Studio so I can bring them into Ableton and play with them from there. I'm gonna do that by making sure everything's selected here and then go into File, Export, All Playlist Tracks from Song Start. And now I have all the stems separated here that I can drag into Ableton. Now I'm here in Ableton, I'm just gonna take all these stems and drag them onto the timeline. And I'm gonna hold down Command so that each one gets its own track. And actually I kinda wanna see if I can sample anything from these stems. Probably only gonna sample the snare from it, if anything. I'm trying to get as close to what's called the zero crossing as possible so we can avoid getting any clicks and pops in the sample. It's a pretty simple snare, but it's got like a cool layer of noise on it. Let's take a look at this bass. Now that the stems are separated, I can put a tuner on the bass so I can just take a look and see what the bass notes for this melody are here. So it's just an F to C sharp progression with a C at the end. Bass is going crazy at this part. I feel like if I'm gonna sample anything, it's gonna be this kit right here. Yeah, that's C sharp. Let's go ahead and grab that. And then again, I'm gonna go in here and go as close to the zero crossing as I can. Cut out that tail. It's pretty crazy. And I'm gonna have to tune it down one semitone to make it a C. And we got a cool 808. So I balanced out those samples and I have them right here that I can use in the beat right now. So let's go ahead and take a look, listen to this melody. I know I'm at the time stretcher, so I'm gonna listen for that. When I do the stretches, I just make sure that we have warp mode turned on. And then I'm in complex warp mode. And then I'm just going in here and kind of just dragging everything out by eye. I don't really care about everything being so on the grid, so I leave some things a little loose on purpose. I'm just listening to an entire sample to see if there's anything that inspires me or gives me any ideas. When I heard the original sample, I knew I could flip it into some crazy like Yeat, Ken Carson type shit. So I'm just gonna put down some drums to get an idea for how I can flip the sample some more. Let's start with an 808. Something like that. I'm gonna put an EQ on the sample to get rid of all those sub frequencies. Really don't need anything above 200. And I'm also hearing a really annoying ringing. That one right there. You can just get rid of that completely. Those little EQ changes make the sample so much cleaner. I'm gonna try using the original snare. Let's go ahead and make everything faster. Yeah, I'm gonna do that instead. I'm just gonna put down a pretty simple hi-hat pattern like that. Yeah, then I'm gonna add like an accent snare right here. Yeah, that gives it a nice bounce. Let's go ahead and add an open hat. I can work with that. I'm gonna add some slides to these open hats. And I'm gonna do that by using the MPE controls here in Ableton. I'm gonna select the note I wanna add the slide to and click this MPE button. But basically here I can control the pitch of the sample and I can draw things out visually. So let's try and make this one come in from an octave down. I'm gonna add a few of these smaller slide notes too, just to add a little bit of variety to the open hats. I'm also gonna add a little bit of pan automation to this last little open hat note. I kind of want to put an acapella on it. I took the Cayenne to the west side. She like when I hit it, LL for the best side. I'ma never flow the inside. When you keep the Glock the best side. If you tell me that you like it when I hit it from the left side. It's a broken heart, it's a fresh wound. Okay, that sounds pretty hard. You know, honestly, I was just vibing out to the beat playing over the acapella, and I just made like a little arrangement, just following that as a guideline, kind of. This is hard. I'm gonna add a few more drums. I heard like a few patterns while this was playing. And then I'm also probably just gonna use the sample more as like a starter instead of something that I'm gonna like flip and twist around and mangle too much. Like that's why I fuck with this sample so heavy, because I think it was a Viper song from like 2008, a little while ago. And it sounds old and vintage in a way, but it still sounds modern in a way too. Like it's hard to explain. I really like this sample. I added shaper box onto the snare to add a little bit more distortion to it. Let's give it a little bit more bite. Then let's add like some offbeat percussions. I'm gonna go ahead and mix the sample a bit better too. Adding a little bit of dynamic EQ down here in the lower mids. That's gonna take away a lot of muddiness I hear in the sample. And then I think I'm also gonna add a rim shot too, just doing a simple offbeat pattern. And I'm gonna only have this one play every other 8 bars. And I'm also gonna slightly automate it just to make it a bit more interesting. I'm also gonna add this chorus dimension plugin by Arturia. And I'm gonna use this dirty and wide preset. I'm also gonna turn the mix down a little bit. That just adds like a really interesting stereo effect. Now we need to add some more melodies to this. The whole beat arrangement's done. Now it's really just a matter of throwing effects and a bunch of melodies to make it a full beat. I'm gonna start and find some more keys to add on top from Keyscape. Instead of using like that overused Yeat bell sound, maybe we can do something like this. So it sounds a little bit more unique. And I'm gonna group all these melodies together in the same bus. Let's remove a lot of the bass from that bell sound too. And then also that lower mid frequency. Now let's add another sound. But I think I'm gonna play around in Zonology for this one. Could be something like that. Let's add some effects to this bell sound to make it a little bit more interesting. So I'm gonna throw on Infiltrator and just randomize it. Yeah, that's nice. I'm gonna copy and paste this bell melody and try and find like another sound to use it. go ahead and try Infiltrator on that. Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna add another perk loop here too. Yeah, that's hard. And then for this section, I think I'm gonna add an auto filter onto the instruments and then just have it come down over time like that. So let's just draw that automation in. And then I also like to automate a few of these other LFOs just to make it a little bit more interesting too. Just adds a bit more randomness to the sample. Ooh, that's hard. That needs some effects. I hear like a wind chime right here. Yeah, that sounds nice. And then we'll put some like a white noise effect at the beginning to add a bit more impact. And then probably a few more times over here. Then I'm also gonna add this reverse cymbal a few times just to add some more extra impact. And then I think around the halfway point of the beat, I'm gonna just halftime the entire sample just to add some variety to it. So it's not the same thing the entire way through. I'm just gonna have that automated in just this 8 bars right here. I think I just wanna keep that simple, honestly. I think that's the entire beat. If you made it this far in the video, I appreciate you. Thank you for watching. You guys will see me again very soon. I'm gonna drop at least 2 videos a week from now on. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and play the full beat now, and I'll see you guys in the next video.